Welcome to BizWack. Brought to you by Hugh Hamilton Leadership Group. Featuring Jeff Engelbrecht from Westend Autobody. We're very excited to have our guests here today. Jeff, you're going to have to help me with your last name.
Sure.
We tried.
Fair enough. Engelbrecht.
That's right.
That's exactly what I said.
Absolutely.
Right.
We took a couple stabs at it.
So Jeff is the owner of Westend Autobody. He's Chilliwack, born and raised. You've been married 22 years, is it?
22 years, yes.
To your wife, Lena.
Lena, that's right.
Lena, right. And then 2 teenage girls. They're both into hockey and jiu-jitsu. Did you know that, Tyler?
I did know that. I actually coaches girls in hockey. That's how Jeff and I actually met years ago at a homeschool hockey. He has 2 wonderful girls, good hockey players, but I did know they do jiu-jitsu as well, too. Do you do it?
I don't, actually. I did a little bit of martial arts when I was their age, but I haven't followed through with it. You know, you can do anything you want, but you can't do everything you want. Right. And I loved playing hockey, and I do some mountain biking once again, and a few other activities. But if I could fit it into the schedule, I'd go back to martial arts. But
do you ever grapple with them at all? Did they ever slip you into a triangle or anything like that?
Last I grappled with the girls, I was like twice their size, and they were like 8 and 6 years old. So ever since they hit their teenage stride, it's been a different game. But no, I haven't.
Yeah, 2 girls at home as well, too. That must be pretty cool. Did they ever just grapple if they're fighting? Too. Yeah, teenage girls, yeah.
You know, it's interesting because when you put your kids in martial arts, you get kids who know how to fight a bit, right? So arguments between the 2 girls have never come to like actually fist fights, but all of a sudden you see some practiced moves come out in this argument turn physical. I'm like, hey, stop it.
You come out with the big gong, ready? Okay, ready, gong.
Exactly. Exactly. Hey, she tapped out, stop,
yeah,
you know?
Yeah, that's funny.
But that's just part of putting your kids in something is they know what to do. But it was important for them to be able to, protect themselves and have a little bit more self-confidence.
In hockey, sure. they play defense just like their dad as well, too. That's pretty cool. I know you play with them on Sunday nights.
I do, yeah, in a family hockey drop-in, and it's really special. I look at this as a window of opportunity to play hockey with my daughters. That may not be forever, right. It just life will change, and who knows what their situation or mine is. But yeah, what a amazing opportunity to play hockey with my daughters. And yeah, I see they play a lot like me, which is very defensive and a vital role in the team. But don't look to me to score goals, unfortunately.
And you were saying, you told me on the phone that you really like the school that they go to, or the studio. Jiu-jitsu.
Yeah, the jiu-jitsu, absolutely. Yeah. I can highly recommend it. Hisco Jiu-Jitsu, it's just across from the Alliance Church or the area of Toyota there. Yeah. And our girls absolutely love their sensei, Steve, and he does a great job.
Sensei Steve.
Wow. Yeah, he's our Soke Steve now, and he got a promotion to the top guy in his...
Glad we cleared that up.
Yeah, exactly. No, he's been great. He's firm, but he's fair, and he keeps the class fun, and they definitely learn a lot.
Nice. Good to hear. So tell us about Westend Autobody.
Okay. How much time do you have?
Yeah, let's get going. We got about 45-ish minutes.
Okay.
So, yeah.
I'll try to stop at 44 and a half. Leave some time for an extra.
Yeah.
So Westend Autobody is the business that I am a shareholder in. It's my family's business. My mom and dad and I own it together. It was started in 1952, but it wasn't started by my parents. My dad was also born in 52. So do the math there. It doesn't make it easy for him to start the business. It was started by 3 business partners, one of which is still alive. That would be Alfred Prochnow. He's quite gone on in years right now. His other 2 business partners are Ken Dargitz and Emil Godet, and they've since passed on. My father worked there as a painter, and in the 70s had an opportunity to purchase the business and did so.
As a young guy.
Yeah. He was like early 20s.
Yeah.
Wow.
And, throughout the years, there were some lean years and some good years, but the business, slowly grew. And in 2001, 2 things happened. I moved back to Chilliwack from Burnaby, or I was attending SFU. I finished my business degree, also got married that year to my wife, Lena. And I got back into the family business. And my dad stepped out in 2008. He had let's say a health thing came up, and
Right.
has since gotten past it, which I'm very thankful for. But that was sort of his cue to step out, and he's still involved, but not in a day-to-day operations capacity.
Right.
So Simon Fraser University, that's where you went.
That's
and
right.
would you studied business there?
Yeah, business admin.
And you realized at that point, yeah, this is a good business that I should pursue, obviously, especially being in your family as well, too.
So it's an interesting, the way I would look at it is, I looked at the business. I originally wanted to be a teacher.
Really?
Wanted to be a teacher.
I should have been a teacher, too. Phys ed and history minor, PE history minor.
And you would have been great. You would have inspired a lot of kids, and I think I probably could have as well. But I looked at the family business and thought, if I don't give this a try, I will forever have this lingering thought of what if? What if I had gone into the family business?
Especially with that education, the business background.
Yeah.
That must have opened your eyes a bit.
I think so. Yeah. And I think at that point when I chose where I was going to study and what I was going to study, it was with the intent of, giving the family business a try.
Right.
So I wanted to give it a try, and 22 years later, I'm still there. They can't seem to get rid of me, or
You can't seem to get rid of yourself, apparently.
I know. And it's been good. There's been some, like any organization or family or business, there's been great times and there's been difficult times. You go through seasons, but I don't regret it. I think it's been an opportunity to connect with a lot of people, and that's what I enjoy doing. I love getting to know folks and having an opportunity to maybe touch someone's life in some way.
You're connecting with people where they connect with each other's vehicles, right?
Yes, exactly.
That's the idea, right?
There was a shop once, and I can't take credit for this, but they had a slogan that said, "We meet the nicest people by accident."
Oh, wow. That's a good one.
And that was years ago. That might be far enough.
You got to save that one for your radio ads.
Yeah, exactly. It's maybe the other shop's been long enough since that I could borrow that and it wouldn't be a copyright infringement. But yeah, I love the meeting of people. I really do.
So just to quickly shore up on the business, so you studied business, this may be a bit of a loaded question or a silly question, but how much did your business degree actually help you with even starting off running your business? That must have been certainly a positive aspect. It's not like you went to school for communications or anything like that. So getting the business degree must have been a huge attribute for actually owning and operating your own business.
In some ways, yes, and in some ways, no. It's not uncommon for people to get a business, any degree for that matter, maybe outside of the, STEM, like science and, technologies and engineering and so forth. But a lot of what you use isn't directly applied, unfortunately. I found the biggest asset is communication. Like you said, I actually did take communication courses, business writing. I found that I've developed the ability to write reasonably well. There's professional writers who are better than me for sure, but I do believe I have a bit of a natural ability. And if I were to pursue that, that's something that I could flesh out into a something even better. But I've been called the wordsmith in the Autobody industry. Maybe it's easy to rise above people who are former technicians.
Get us going here, and Hugh's going to be the wordsmith of the podcast. I've never heard that before. That's a compliment.
It's a huge compliment. Yeah. So I've written, letters and ended up in meetings with even the minister responsible for ICBC in the past. When there was something going on, and it was a long time ago, that needed some addressing. You send this letter and you get yourself an audience with, someone like that. That was pretty cool. The marketing side of it, marketing was my concentration at Simon Fraser. And that's the part I enjoy a lot, is the advertising and promotion of the business, because it's sort of my wheelhouse.
Right.
I hire skilled accountants to do the number side. Not that I couldn't, but it's just not something I enjoy. So yes, it is beneficial, but in an odd kind of sort of indirect way.
What is your marketing plan
Marketing plan?
for Westend Autobody?
At the moment, we're not doing a lot of promotion. It's a bit of an interesting time in our industry where there are more people in Chilliwack, but less capacity in the repair industry. One of our largest competitors switched from fixing ICBC claims for cars and trucks and is now fixing exclusively motorhomes and RVs and trailers.
Niche. You went for the niche market.
They went for niche. And and speaking to the owner and the manager of that business, it was the best move they've ever done. They have lots of work, and the rest of us have had, the benefit of all this extra capacity, in addition to the industry just province-wide being very busy. So at the moment, we've scaled back. We used to do rodeo advertising. That would be funny. Yeah. Radio advertising, some Facebook. We did some targeted in-app advertising, like mobile device advertising. Newspaper we did in the past a bit as well. We scaled most of that back.
But you used to do your own radio ads. They were great. I remember just listening to them like all the time in the mornings. Did you write those yourself as well too?
Almost always.
Awesome.
Oh, and I would get their staff to go over my work to make sure that they thought it worked well, that it flowed. But a lot of the ideas, I'd say 3/4 of them were my child, that I kind of raised and created, right? Like the script itself. Some of the funnier ones, like my Christmas ads, I was really proud of.
Yeah, they were awesome. I remember because we have the radio on every day in the morning when we're setting up, and it's very quiet.
Do you want me to kind of recite one of the radio?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I do, actually.
So this is a Christmas ad, and there's
We're
two.
going live here.
One was voiced by my younger daughter, and she was like 7 at the time. And she had a young sounding voice. This is what we needed, right? And you hear a bit of Christmas, jingling in the background. And then she says, for Christmas, I want a kitten. Mommy wants a spa visit. And Daddy wants a new bumper for his truck because he's sick of it looking like junk. And then the extra is me saying, Autobody repairs for a Christmas gift? 'Tis the season, Merry Christmas from Westend Autobody. And the other one was my wife. And
Like your wife wrote it?
no, my wife speaking it.
Oh,
I wrote
that's
them
awesome.
and they
The
voiced
whole
them.
family affair. That's wonderful.
And this
Did you
was
get business out of that at Christmas?
It's hard to tell. It's always hard
anybody
to
that
tell.
talks about it means you're getting business for sure.
I think so. For us, it's always brand awareness because it's not a purchase that you make because you feel like it or because you've excitedly saved up for it. Like it's kind of like I have to go do this. But most people have insurance, which is good. So it's like I have a deductible or maybe not. But it's like buying a mattress. Maybe it's like, top of mind. When they decide they need it or they realize they need it, then you got to be on their mind.
Right.
But if I can just recap quickly the one with my wife that she voiced, it starts out with her and she's got an angry tone and she goes, "What's that under the Christmas tree?" And then I come on and say, "It's your Christmas gift, honey. Why do you ask?" Then she says, "'Cause it looks like a car fender." And I said, "Well, you had been telling me you're sick of that car looking all smashed up." So, and then it said, extra says, yeah, some things are best left to the experts, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, like a
Westend Autobody.
A guy would actually get his wife a fender for Christmas, right?
That seems like a guy thing.
For sure. It's at the time it seemed like the right thing to do. Right?
I think we need a fender clip for our van, so maybe that's why I could get a even better, a little bit smaller, maybe a stocking stuffer for my wife, a fender clip, so it wants to slip down once in a while.
Sure.
But let's not forget about your Chilliwack Chiefs crunch of the game as well too. Like that's been a staple. Like the fans literally get jacked up for. I always tease Annalise about it as well too. Your Chilliwack Chiefs crunch of the game, and that's such like a who doesn't love a massive body check. That's a really good ongoing ad you do with the Chiefs. That's a good one.
That is actually, thanks for mentioning that one. That is the one bit of advertising we continue to do.
Yeah.
And it's in part to, support the local hockey club and be part of the community. But like you said, also it is advertising and we have eyes on that every game. And as Ty mentioned, it's my daughter. She was 13 at the time. Yeah. And she is in the video introducing it. And I think she did a great job.
She did a great job.
And that was really cool. So Alexa is my younger one. She did the radio ad. And then Annalise, I got her in on the Chiefs screen ad to try to get my daughters, a bit of exposure to that industry.
Right. And good experience for them.
It's really, really cool. And they got the sound effect as well too, like the car slamming as well too. Yeah, that's a good one for sure. A well spent money there for sure. And you keep doing it with the Chiefs, which is great too.
Mm-hmm. And you brought up community, and that was one of the questions we wanted to ask. Like, how has the community of Chilliwack supported your business? Mm-hmm. And then how have you supported the community at the same time?
Sure. So the community supporting us, Well, we're Chilliwack's favorite body shop, which is another way to say we fix more cars. Right. That's trying to not come across as arrogant, was we don't want to take anyone's business for granted.
Right.
There is choice. I mean, the industry is busy. It's hard to get into any collision repair shop quickly these days, which I mentioned earlier. There's just lots of work out there and not enough shops to fix it, which is a bit of an anomaly. I don't know if it'll stay like this forever, but for now, we're very busy, but so are other shops. But choosing us when they have choice is how they've supported us, and we've been very grateful for that. We have sometimes families that have come for like generation or two. That to me is a great compliment. Or people that come back again and again, right? Like if you have
That's what it's all about.
If you have a good experience, and we have people who have moved. One fellow moved to, was it Surrey or New Westminster, and he drove back. He's like, I trust you.
Right.
And I don't want to have any other shop touch my vehicle because I know I can trust you. Maybe there's other ones out there, but I don't know. I don't want to take the chance. And that to me is a real compliment. I joke around with customers that I know well that I should have a punch card. You know, like coffee or whatever, 10th one's free. You know, hey, you're at 8, Mr. Smith. You know, like keep it up.
Keep backing into people's vehicles.
Exactly. Or maybe a T-shirt that says, you know, proud member of the Westend Autobody Frequent Crasher Club. And I fear that these shirts...
Nobody would wear that shirt.
I fear no one would wear it.
Crasher Club. That's good.
It would be wasted money to make them, but it would be kind of fun. But we did do something recently for promotion, which is, it's fun. It's just rolling out. I have these stickers made up. They're about the size of a dinner plate. And on it, it says in this bright, I should have brought one.
That's a big sticker, dinner plate size.
It says, not my fault, in sort of this cartoon, like, you know, like the Batman blam across the screen. It says it like that. And then it says underneath, and soon to be fixed at Westend Autobody.
Right.
So
like that.
We had a gal come in yesterday that was backed into. So it looks like she rear-ended someone. But she said, I was parked and some delivery truck backed into me. I said, everyone must think that you did that. Oh, of course they do. It's the front end of my car. I said, do you want the sticker on there? And she's like, oh, yes. So now she's got this big sticker on the damaged hood of her car that says, not my fault.
Oh, even better.
Yeah.
We want one.
Better.
If you can send one, we'll put it up on the wall.
Yeah.
I got
Absolutely.
lots of room on, there's lots of bumps and bruises on my truck. Hugh and I were looking.
we were looking this
They're
morning.
permanent. We don't need to get those fixed, though. But
Right.
I don't even know how more than half of them got there. Yeah. But go ahead. What were you going to say?
Yeah, supporting the community.
Yeah.
So there's the Chiefs advertising. We have supported minor hockey off and on with sponsorships, and men's league hockey as well. So sports is a bit of a theme. In addition, Salmon Society, we've been a big supporter of them over the years and working for anglers. And
What's Salmon Society?
So they're an organization that speaks on behalf of anglers and lobbies and tries to educate the government and the Department of Fisheries, I suppose.
Right. Okay.
On fish stocks and habitat, and trying to keep the angling industry healthy and alive so that it's sustainable. And one of the things we do to support them is we have a meeting room, like a small boardroom upstairs in our business. And we don't use it super often. And we let them use it free of charge. When they have their meetings, they have a place, nice comfortable room with a boardroom they can meet in.
It's nice.
So
I'm a fisherman, so that's important.
Yeah, for sure.
Are you a fisherman? I don't fish.
Off and on. I haven't this year, but I would often go, specifically salmon fishing on the Fraser River, which hasn't been open as much as it has been in past years.
Right.
But in the past, I would go often with my father, for sure.
We went the other day over the bridge when you're heading out towards Cultus Lake, and there was probably 40 people along the shore there, either with their hip waders on. Have you went fishing this year?
Yeah, yesterday.
Whoa. Maybe I seen you. Were you up by Cultus?
No, I don't like the crowds.
Oh.
There's places you can
He doesn't
go
like
that-
the crowds. Okay.
on the river.
Right.
And then just to get off Westend Autobody for 1 second,
Please.
and we don't mind you giving plugs to other businesses. That's what it's all about.
Sure.
Wanted to ask you, who's your pillar of the community, and who would you recommend to come on the show with us?
Okay. Pillar of the community.
What? Who do you see out there that you think's doing a good job in the community and might be interested in sharing their story?
Interesting. Well, Richard Prosey.
Yeah. For
I think
sure.
he's very involved in lots of community, and I got to know Richard through business and through hockey.
Right.
And but obviously you know him well.
I don't know if the show's ready for Richard yet.
His personality is larger than he is.
Yeah. That's for sure. We'd have to put the mic way up here as well, too.
Yeah, in business, there's, again, I could say for coming on the show, Sensei Steve, I think.
Yes.
Whoa.
Steve.
Or Soke.
You could throw Hugh into an armbar or something over there. Yeah, that would be interesting.
With
It's not Sensei, it's who?
Soke. It's like grandmaster
Steve.
instead of
Wow.
teacher.
Wow.
Right.
Yeah, and he's RCMP by day and instructs martial arts in the evening.
That's a great combo.
For sure. Yeah, he's been very good. In terms of a good interview, I think someone like Adam at Sidewinder Conversions would be a great interview if he's up for that. He's a very interesting conversation. He's got lots of color in his personality as well. And Sidewinder is interesting. It's not the type of business you go to say, hey, I feel like purchasing a conversion wheelchair van. However, I think there's a lot of people they serve who are the ones who need it the most, right? And I see these people go the extra mile for the disabled and those with special needs, trying to help out and just, really touch the lives of these people who are in for whatever reason, in unfortunate circumstances. Plus, they're just super nice people. If you go in there, the atmosphere is so cool and relaxed.
Okay. Thanks for sharing that.
For sure.
So you talked about the volume of the vehicles coming in and stuff like that. Would you say that and you're right, you're one of the top auto body shops in Chilliwack. Would you say that you guys are constantly busy? Like how many people do you employ full time at Westend Autobody?
So to answer your first question, constantly busy at this moment, yes, but I don't want to discourage people. I don't want to discourage people from coming by with their claims.
Right.
Like we are catching up in terms of it seems like the volume of work is maybe becoming more manageable for the whole industry. And I've had lots of customers come and say, oh, that's, I have to wait a few weeks to get in. That seems a little too long. And then they come back and say, well, everyone's in the same situation. So please don't let that discourage you from coming by. I think that waiting at a business isn't necessarily the worst thing. Have you ever been in a restaurant where it's really empty and you start to wonder why you're the only one there?
That's a great point, the restaurant factor as well, yeah.
If you're the only one there, then perhaps you're kind of missing something that everyone else has already experienced, and maybe it's not good. What was the second question again? It was...
Well, just how many employees do you employ at Westend Autobody? It's a big establishment.
Yeah, the staff, we total, I think, around 25 people, including all support staff and office and bookkeeping. Body technicians, I think we're at 8, and paint department at 5, including some apprentices. We're proud to apprentice people. We don't always have...
That's it.
We're not always hiring apprentices, but when we have an opening, we definitely look to hire young people and get them into the apprenticeship program. You would know, you're a hockey fan, you win the cup through the draft, right?
Yeah, right on. Absolutely. Homegrown, right?
In business, I am super proud that we have lots of people who have apprenticed with us and are now qualified Red Seal technicians. And to me, that's a sense of pride. That's one of the things I love about business, is being able to facilitate the betterment of someone's career and hopefully their life too, right? Just give them a path that is good for them and benefits them, right? And then in return, hopefully it pays back for us as well. If we have someone who's a good technician, who's loyal and easy to work with, that is a real plus, right?
Right on it. Yeah, and you know what? Even if a business starts to slow down, you can always just drive around in the middle of the night and smash into people's car and vandalize it as well too. You can always help yourself.
Leave your card on the windshield.
Yeah.
We joke.
Yeah, leave your card on the windshield. I like that. Yeah.
We joke about that type of stuff in the industry. I'll be honest here, and I know you guys want the honest, Jeff.
Oh yeah, we only want honesty here on bizwack.
I was at an accident scene once, and this has got to be 15 years ago. And I handed the guy my business card, and I felt so dirty.
Oh, yeah.
You were in the accident?
No. I arrived moments after. Everyone was fine. It was just a minor fender bender, but I felt so greasy after that. I'm like, never again will I hand out a business card at an accident scene. you know what? If I saw an accident, I'd be the first one to stop and help. You know, in my school years, I was a lifeguard. Now my training has lapsed, but I would still have enough first aid knowledge to want to be there and help someone in need. But I would not fly the Westend flag at an accident scene. I just didn't feel right at all.
Yeah, I understand. You should leave some business cards at the Hofstede's, the store, though, because I'll tell you, we had a big fender bender out front the other. Everyone was okay, but it was like a clean T-bone, and there's also, I shouldn't say always, but it happens quite a bit. People backing into other people's cars or swiping their doors or something.
Yeah.
So that'd be quick. Yeah, don't worry about it. Everything's okay. Jeff from Westend Autobody. Yeah.
That's so like.
Thank you for buying your melons and bananas, but here you go, Jeff from Westend Autobody. He can help you out.
We fixed vehicles, 2 vehicles that both had minor scratches and dings. This was a few years ago, and I will not mention names, but there were 2 grown adult men who got into a confrontation. I think it was in Hofstede's parking lot, in your parking lot. One opened the door and bumped the vehicle next to him, but that person was in their vehicle, and they got out, and it became this argument, and it ended up with them throwing rocks at each other's vehicles.
Wow.
Like, it got so childish, and we actually helped both of them, but thankfully they weren't in the office at the same time. And we would have seen round 2 or something.
I don't think I was there for that. That would have been something else.
Pretty sure it was your parking lot. We just remember thinking, goodness gracious, like these are 2 grown men, and they're literally squabbling and damaging each other's vehicles because one guy accidentally bumped his door into the other guy's vehicle.
Okay, now we're getting into story mode. You got to have one story that just you have to tell as far as like wreckage or anything like that. Give me a good one.
So this one is one that you can't make up.
Perfect.
Good.
One of my estimators, this was a number of years ago. Again, I'm leaving everyone unnamed. This person would probably be close to number 10 in the punch card if I had them. But this customer comes back after having their vehicle fixed, and I'm in the shop, and my estimator, one of them, runs back to me. He says, Jeff, you have to come to the office. I don't know if I'm supposed to laugh or cry. You got to help me with this. I thought, what? I go up front, and this customer says, I picked up my vehicle. It was an SUV. And ever since I got it home, and he had picked it up earlier that morning, it's smaller than before. It used to be a large kind of SUV, but now it's like a small car. Like something's not right. I used to be, when I wash car, I'd reach out with the wash mitt on the hood and I could get to this point, but now look how far I can reach. I can reach right across. And he says, and I'm not that picky actually, but my wife has a very, very keen eye. And she noticed right away, this car is smaller than before. And I didn't know what to say. I was going to go through, we use genuine parts, and, we have state-of-the-art frame measuring equipment, and like it's in the shop for probably 3 weeks. This was a large front-end hit. Like, it was not a small repair. And by just, the grace of God, my mother was pulling in, and she has the same SUV, different colors at that time, same body style, same model. I waved her in. I said, park next to this here. And I said, sir, can you this has never been in a front-end accident, this vehicle. Just have a look. Any deficiencies you see between the two, I'll be happy to rectify them. Because at this point, I'm already smiling on the inside. He looks at them both and goes, sorry. Just hops in and drives away. But he thought his car was smaller. Like his vehicle had actually shrunk. Like, I'm sorry, I should have not put it on the dry cycle after washing it or something, Like I didn't say that, Like it's funny because I wish I could sometimes let the inside voice out. And I love my customers. They're awesome. But sometimes they say some funny things. And I wish I could have this comeback. But you can't use sarcasm with a customer unless you know them really well and they got a sense of humor. Like Tyler, if you came in, if I couldn't make fun of you 3 different ways for having smashed your car, I'd consider it a failure. But
right.
If someone came in and it was just a customer, I'm going to treat them with the utmost respect and professionality. And I'm not going to, professionalism, maybe? I'm not going to.
Don't look at me for.
You're the wordsmith.
You're the wordsmith.
Wordsmith is like maybe creating words. That's why I'm the wordsmith. I make them up. Yeah. But so that's one of my favorites for humor anyway. We shrunk his vehicle.
That works for me though. That quick comeback. Oh, that works a lot at the store. And sometimes, like I walk away being like, ooh, that almost could have went a little south or something. But I think that is like, people trust in your character. People trust in your business. And especially, you know, they're dealing with a situation where they've just crashed their vehicles and money exchange, and they need that little bit of that quirkiness. They need that little bit of sense of humor. It works for me a lot, and I know customers appreciate it. And then that's kind of like the comeback factor as well, too. How you can have like a serious conversation, but also be cool enough or calm enough to throw a little tidbit in there from as well too.
I try to read the customers. If I sense that there's some lightness in their character, then I will sometimes add a bit of humor in as well. One of my estimators, the same one I just described, I overheard him once talking to a customer, and the customer said, I had this horrible experience. I'm going to make up the details, but it was something to the effect of, I was forced off the road and I went down into the ditch and up on the side and I spun around, and it was like this traumatic, but no one was hurt. And my estimator says, wow, you'd pay a lot of money at Disneyland for a ride like that.
Right?
It's like, wow, it must have been exciting.
Yeah.
And then I tell this joke sparingly, but if a customer, again, has a sense of humor, but they're also like asking, will the car be fine? Will it drive the same? Will it, function correctly? Will it be safe? And I'll say, let me tell you a little story. If, there's this guy goes in for finger surgery, and oddly, I actually had severe finger surgery a year and a half ago, so I can speak from experience now. And
that's right. You cut your finger bad.
I got it caught in a wood splitter.
Tell that story really quick. Let's go for it.
Can I finish my joke?
Yeah, okay, yes, yeah. Wow. Absolutely, yeah. Now I'm going to have to laugh extra hard now.
So the guy goes in, maybe it's me. Maybe I did this to the doctor and say, doctor, you're going to operate on my fingers. Like, is it going to be okay? And the doctor says, I'm a specialist. I do this all the time, and it'll be fine. I really have a lot of experience. A doctor, but I use my fingers for so much stuff. Like, is this going to be, are you sure you can do this? And the doctor's like, look, I said, I'm a specialist. I've got tons of experience. I'm the best there's around. This surgery, I'm sure it's going to go great. Doctor, I got one more question. The doctor's irritated now. And he says, well, once my fingers have healed, will I be able to play the piano? And the doctor's like, look, I told you, like, I can do this surgery. I'm the best there is. This will go great. Yes, you'll be able to play the piano. And the patient's quite relieved. He says, that's good, doctor, because I can't play the piano now.
Whatever.
So for the customer who's worried, my repairs, are they going to be fine? I'm like, I tell them this joke sparingly, right?
Yeah,
if you're listening and I didn't tell you this joke, I'm sorry. If you wanted to hear it.
They're going to hear it again now as well, too. Like, I know where this is going, buddy. Just fix my car.
I don't want to treat people's trauma with disrespect either, right? Like, for a lot of people, this is like a serious traumatic event, and we want to make sure we treat it with due respect. I always want to be friendly and try to, things get better when you come to Westend Autobody. Like, trust me, we've got this. We're gonna do it great, and we're gonna look after you and your vehicle. But it's once in a while I see that this person's got a great sense of humor.
Right.
I'll pull that out.
You have to.
So,
and you had mentioned that you give starts to young people, and then that helps build loyalty in your company. What do you do for your employees? And then if they were here, what would they say about you?
What would they say about me? Okay. What I do for them is easier to say. I like to treat people like real people. It sounds obvious. It's very cliche. In the morning,
makes sense.
There's barely a morning that goes by where I don't start at the beginning of the building, walk all the way to the back, and say good morning to every single one of my staff.
All right.
Every single one, I'll say good morning to them all the time.
Yeah.
There are a few people who look forward to that. And if I've missed a morning, there's a few folks that'll come by. Hey, you didn't come by and say good morning today. Oh, shoot, sorry.
It's got to make you feel good.
That is. I've hired people that have come in from other businesses and have said, wow, this is the best place I've ever worked. That's the best compliment they can say. But then other people don't say it, but they've worked there for 30 years.
Right.
To me, obviously, there's something they appreciate about the business, and it's worth staying, right? I know there's been there's been times where other businesses, thankfully not too much local, but there's, in Abbotsford, trying to headhunt skilled technicians, and we've been able to keep them almost all the time. And even though large raises are being dangled in front of them, it's like, but hey, I like working here. It's close to home. They treat me well. We have the odd staff barbecue. I try to give a little bit of grace where people need it. Like if someone's going through personally a bit of a difficult time, and they want a little bit of extra leniency from the workplace, my answer is I'll try to say yes if I can. Some people, can I have a special favor? The default answer is no, prove me otherwise. Whereas mine is like, I want to say yes, let's just try to make this work. So I try to accommodate people's needs. I still need them to get the job done. But if someone's like, hey, my wife's shift has changed, I got to come in a little late and I can work late. Okay, we'll try to make this work.
So treating them as people, not necessarily employees.
I try my best. And by nature, I'm the type of person who likes to connect with people. I like to have conversations.
That's right. It shows in your character as well, too. I'm certain you would be a wonderful boss to have for sure.
I absolutely try. And
that's what it's all about, right? Especially you said you employ over 20 people as well. That's a lot of good mornings as well, too.
It sure is.
Can you tell the finger story? I want to hear about your finger being almost cut off. It was a wood cutter, right?
It's a hydraulic wood splitter. This is, I don't tell this story too much. It's kind of embarrassing, but the wood splitter, it sits horizontal. You pick up a block of wood, you put it in there, and it presses it against a bit, which is like the wedge, right?
Yeah.
And it bing, splits it apart. And there's a hydraulic lever, and the lever has a leaky valve. So that means when you open it, the press opens up. If you don't stop the lever in just the right spot, the press starts to slowly inch back again.
Oh, so it's coming back at you.
And I was putting the logs in, and we had kind of worked the pile, like we had taken a bunch of the wood. So let's pull this thing. It's on wheels. We pull it closer to the pile. And the press was open, and stupid me, I put my hand like in the bit to pull the machine on the wheels, not seeing that the press was coming down, and it caught my lower two fingers.
Whoa. Let me see them. I remember when I see, there's got a little twist going on right there.
I went into emergency surgery. I was in Chilliwack Hospital. They said, we can't do anything. Literally, I don't want to be graphic, but they were there, but just hanging on by skin.
Wow.
That was it. They said, well, we'll take you to Royal Columbian. They have the transplant team there. Maybe they can do something. And they took some pictures and texted him. And Newestminster said, sure, send him down. And then I'm in the ambulance. Had two fantastic ambulance drivers. I believe one, her name was Katie. She came to my work months later to come and say hi and see how I was doing.
That's cool.
Katie, the ambulance attendant, is listening. She was stellar.
From Chilliwack.
Yeah. She works here. I don't know if she lives here, but I think so. Anyway, this is kind of an emotional story because it was really traumatic time in my life. It's just my fingers. Oh, it's just your fingers. But it's like, oh, shoot. Like,
will I ever be able to take a slap shot ever again?
Exactly. Halfway through this ambulance drive, and I'm kind of drugged up at this point. And
the pain. Yeah.
It hurt. They gave me some narcotics, and it was kind of like, whew, okay, I can feel that kicking in. All of a sudden, the ambulance gets off the highway, and I can look out the window. I said, well, we're not in Westminster. They said they've rerouted us to Royal Columbian. I'm like, is this good or bad? And
is this standard procedure?
Exactly. Yeah. And they said, we're not sure, but we were sent there. And one of them is on the phone or the radio or whatever. And they said, well, maybe they're keeping you there because New Westminster, Royal Columbian is too busy. Maybe they have like a life-saving, transplant from a car accident or something, and they're going to divert you to Surrey. And it's like, okay, so I'm getting the farm team of doctors. I'm not getting the best ones now.
The farm team of doctors. Oh, that's it. They're sending me the AHL for fingers.
Exactly. It's like, I know it's just my fingers. It's not a life-saving thing, but I was like a little bit disappointed. I'm like, oh no, what am I going to get? Right. And then they find out, no, we're going to have a plastic surgeon look at you. And I'm like, are you serious? Like, I know I need a tummy tuck and some improvements, but like my fingers are more important, aren't they? Like a plastic surgeon. So I asked the one attendant, it wasn't Katie, it was the other one who was I was chatting with at that point. I said, can you go into the hospital because I'm in the waiting area? Just advocate for me as if I were, your own brother or something. And he says, sure, I'll do that. Because I said, I don't know this industry. I don't know the system. And he comes back and he says, look, I've asked around, and the plastic surgeons is the one you want. Yeah. They work on fingers because they're trained in microsurgery. And fingers are so delicate and so intricate. They're actually the best ones because that's what they train in. I said, okay, so I'm actually getting the best care. And there was this this gal, Dr. Meng, and it was like 10 p.m. at night. And she's like, no, I'm willing to do the surgery. I'll come in, I'll do the emergency surgery. She looked at my hand and she said, I can't guarantee that you're going to have your fingers when you wake up. I will try. But if it's not going to work, I'm sorry. You may work up and I may have had to take them off.
Wow. That's something
So you
to go
woke
to
up?
sleep to.
I woke up, my hand was completely bandaged, but the end of it was open and I could see fingers there.
Your fingertips.
Praise the Lord. I got my fingers.
Yeah.
And then I see these metal pins jammed into my fingers. I'm like, oh, grief. So that's kind of graphic, but I had metal pins stuck in me for a while. But I can't close these fingers all the way, but they're there. I can hold a hockey stick. I can type.
Yeah. Okay.
And people are like, oh, no, you're right-handed and it's your right hand. I'm like, you know what? This is actually okay.
Yes.
Because I also love music. I play guitar. I play cello.
Oh,
and
cello.
I need my left hand for those things, right? All I need to do is hold a pick or a bow with my right hand.
Strummer.
This hand is actually the right one to get hurt.
Thank you for sharing that. You said that was like an emotional story for you. Right on. Thank you.
Yeah.
I was calling for it as well too. That was the long version. I appreciate that.
And so, sorry to bring it back to Westend Autobody.
Absolutely. This is bizwack.
That's what we're here for.
Yeah.
So you're a young guy, still a fairly young guy. You got into the family business.
Yeah.
And then you had mentioned the 2 teenage daughters.
Yes.
So I'm very curious what your goals are for the future of Westend Autobody. You have some big plans. And how or if do your daughters fit in there?
So my daughters work part-time for me now, doing like shop sweep up and some office, easy clerical work. And it's just after school 1 day a week.
Right.
Which is fine because I think for any employment, be it at our business or not, the best advice I can give to young people is get a job, any job, and do it well. If you have one good job on your resume, even something unpleasant or hard, the next employer is going to look at it and say, okay, they're employable. They've lasted somewhere and they've learned to show up on time. They've learned to do their job. There's this little saying I use when young people start. The only job where you start on top is digging a hole. So if you want to have this fantastic career as a technician or a surgeon or a teacher, the only job where you start on top is digging a hole. And you just got to start somewhere. And sweeping the floors at a body shop or any facility is not your dream job. It's not your career. That's right. But you know what? One of my first jobs was pumping gas. One of my other earlier jobs was working for Enterprise Rent-A-Car. This was when I was in university.
Nice, yeah.
And was it like I knew my career long-term wouldn't be there, but this was fantastic customer service experience. Like even if you worked at McDonald's, they'll teach you how to do a job.
And employees like to see that franchise as well too.
Because they have a system and they teach you how to treat customers, how to speak to customers, how to make decisions, how to provide a good experience. So as for my daughters, if nothing else, this is a first step for them. I don't know if there's at present. At one point, there was some interest to get into the family business. I think that's changed, especially for my older daughter, Annalise, but who knows? I wanted to be a teacher for years. It was sort of last minute when I was signing up for post-secondary that I decided to go into business instead of becoming a teacher. It's an opportunity that I hope to be able to provide for them, but if that's not their choice, I respect that as well.
Right.
I was talking to Annalise, and no pun intended, I hope I say this right. She said she was wanting to maybe get into speech coaching therapy as well too. We were talking about it on the bench last week at hockey.
Right.
That's pretty cool. That's a nice job to have as well, and certainly some schooling behind that as well too. But so the future for Westend. What about you for the future of Westend Autobody? Sorry. You got some room for some more gray hairs on that beard, that's for sure.
Yeah. I'm sure I look younger without the gray beard. I am here until, like here being Westend Autobody,
right,
till I feel called into something else.
Right on.
For me, I look at Westend Autobody, like I enjoy, no job can someone enjoy all of, I think, I enjoy parts of it and other parts I consider work. I am more thankful for Westend Autobody than I've ever been in the past, especially going through the COVID years to be in a business like that. We, stayed open throughout. We did have to scale down considerably.
Yeah, no one was driving around apparently, right?
Exactly. But I became extra thankful for what I have. and what a gift it is, especially being self-employed and having some ability, a bit of autonomy during that turbulent time. If anything, my goal would be to be able to scale back to 3 or 4 days a week at some point. And that point is probably not now, but some point in my future. And then with the other 2 days a week, if it's 2 days, be able to plug into some sort of like nonprofit, missions, charitable.
Something personal. Yeah.
Something where if it's not for money.
Right.
It's just, and I don't have a goal of where that would be yet, but I'd like to be able to do something where I feel I can really make a difference. And I don't need an audience of hundreds of thousands, even if it's a small audience. Just making a big difference in a few people is great, rather than making a small difference in many people. But either's fine. But if I could do something of that nature with the extra 2 days, that to me would be awesome. That to me would be great success. To have a business that runs well without me, 3 days with my involvement, 3 or 4 days a week, and then the other time spent just trying to do something of impact in a different role, I guess.
Right.
Right on.
And then this is about parenting, but because I have a young daughter, she's 7. So I'm always curious about people with older daughters. So it's pretty clear the message you're trying to teach them with that, or Annalise anyway, with that first job and why it's important, even though it might just be sweeping the shop. So I understand the message you're trying to give her. How receptive are they to that message? And then are you constantly having to reinvent techniques or expressions to get them to follow what you say or listen to what you say?
Yeah, any teenage child is probably hard to speak to and have it really land and become something they internalize. This is kind of the benefit of having someone like, the Soke Steve at Jiu-Jitsu or Coach Tyler. Sometimes those people can say the same thing I've been trying to say, and it lands very differently.
Right.
However, I think the role as a father is super important. Even if the message doesn't come across, it doesn't seem to land all the time, later on you find out it actually did. And they just didn't say it, right? Because they're going through, the stage where they're asserting their independence. They're becoming their own person with their own personality, right? I would say as a parent, I just would recommend to anyone, stay consistently on the course. The teenage years I found were challenging.
We're coming into them.
So
boy's 12.
All of your dad jokes will stop working, like overnight.
Right. Whatever, Dad.
It will be depressing. I made a couple dad jokes. Do you want to hear them? Like my own one.
We'll hear one.
Looking at the time. Okay, what's my best one here?
Wow, what do you put call himself on the spot?
What do you call a movie that's all about canines? A documentary.
Oh, come on.
But that's original. And the other one's a car one.
You mean you made that joke up?
If someone else made it up,
it's a Jeff original?
It's a Jeff original. Someone else thought of it.
I think we're running out of time.
I'm aware of it. You know what?
When they come in with the gong, remember the gong show?
Yeah. So I would say even if kids give you the figurative straight arm as a parent, stay the course. This is normal. This is just part of their growing up. I would say don't allow them to be disrespectful or mean. But on the other hand, just understand this is part of it.
Right.
Try to intentionally be involved in their lives, but just know that they're not going to want to play the same games or, laugh about the same things. You're going to have to reinvent your game. It's like going into the dressing room at the intermission of a game and saying the first period we dominated, the second period they just killed us.
Right.
What's wrong? We have to rejig the strategy for this third period to win the game. And that's like going into the adolescence years. It's like, okay, my first period was great. Second period, I feel like I lost momentum. I got to change something and refigure it out, if that's a good analogy.
No, yes. that's a great, and you know good. What, too? I've been coaching your girls for over 5 years. They are wonderful girls. You did a wonderful job.
I love my girls.
Listen to them.
I am so proud of my girls. Of course, I want them to be even better. I think I know what they could be, and sometimes I want to push them a little harder, but my wife sometimes reminds me okay, just let them be. They'll, take it easy, right?
Okay, we're going to get into our next segment.
Oh, please.
It's the beginning of the end.
Beginning of the end. So we call this 10 and 10-ish. So it's 10 questions, and you have 10-ish seconds to respond.
Not each question, though. We're going rapid fire.
Okay.
Are you ready?
I can try. Bring it on.
I can try, yeah.
Do you want to do this
Yeah,
one, Tyler?
yeah.
Okay.
This is like this is my thing, okay? You ready? And there's no drum roll or anything like that, but 10 questions in 10-ish seconds. First one question, what's your favorite restaurant in Chilliwack?
Can I say 2 restaurants?
Yes.
I'd say Greek Islands and Chandler Hut.
Nice. If you weren't involved with Westend Autobody, what type of business would you like to own in Chilliwack? It could be another business.
Like to own. Hadn't actually thought of this.
You're not just going to say the Chilliwack Chiefs? You don't want to own the Chiefs?
Oh, I'm sorry. This one requires more than 10 seconds. I've been in this business. 10-ish. I'd say probably
Greek Islands?
All right.
You can eat all the Greek Islands you want?
I'm sorry to disappoint. Then I have to work evenings. That's one of the great pluses of automotive is you get every evening off.
Right.
But I'd maybe into something like what I'm sitting in right now. This Cowork looks awesome. This would
You
be
want to own Cowork?
a marketing firm. There you
Cowork
go.
for Westend Autobody trade.
Advertising.
Being proposed.
Advertising marketing.
One word to describe your leadership style.
Collaborative.
Nice. Favorite song?
One favorite song. I like so many.
Something with a cello in it, perhaps?
Oh, like, shoot. It'd probably be like a praise song, like "Blessed Be the Name" or something like that.
Blessed be the name of the Lord. Amen, brother.
Yeah.
What is the best way you spend your free time?
Best way.
Yeah.
I love getting together with people I love spending time with. Great conversation just with friends.
Friends and family like
Yeah.
that. This is a good one. Who's your hero?
My hero. Living?
Yeah,
No,
anybody.
it doesn't have to be.
It can be Superman.
Could be Superman.
We got some good ones here too. Don't overthink it.
Yeah, these would be ones I'd love to have had this list ahead of time, but then it wouldn't be
No, it wouldn't be
spontaneous.
spontaneous.
I guess
I can be your
Gonna do the
hero,
countdown
baby,
here.
Jeff. I can be your. Okay, if
let's that one I want to give a correct answer. You know, I could say like looking to someone's example for consistently answering and dealing with adversity correctly, be like Jesus of the Bible. But then what of like other business examples?
Doesn't have to be business. Jesus Christ, it is.
Yeah, amen,
okay.
brother. I like that
Sure.
one. If you're making dinner, what's your go-to?
My go-to tacos.
Oh, okay. What's your favorite nature setting in Chilliwack? You hiker?
Nature setting. Can I go just out of Chilliwack?
Yeah.
Like Othello Tunnels and Hope.
Oh, that's a good one. Okay. One thing you keep putting off.
Fixing the tool room, like cleaning it up.
Fixing the tool room.
Yeah, in the basement
We
of
need
the
some
house.
tools in the tool room. Okay, one piece of advice, saying or an expression that you want everyone to remember from yourself. Even this podcast, one thing.
One thing?
Always
not a
looking
dad
your
joke.
yeah, not
No.
a dad joke. Always use your rear view mirror or what? One piece
You've
of advice.
already given us one.
Yeah, I
The only
could
job where you start on top is ditch digging.
Is digging a
Do you have
hole.
one more?
Yeah, I think I mentioned it earlier. You can do anything you want, but you can't do everything you want.
Oh, I like that. That was more like 10 and 4 minutes ish, but we
sorry.
made it.
And that's going to wrap it up. Special guest, Jeff, thank you very much. Westend Autobody. This is Bizwack. I'm Hugh Hamilton. This is Ty Garrah. Thank you very much for coming on today.
You're very welcome.
Thank you for
Folks,
the hat, too. I'm keeping this.
It was a great pleasure and an honor to be your inaugural guest.
Yes.
I loved it. Great.
Wonderful. Thanks.
All the best. I wish you nothing but success in this podcast.
Thank you.
Thank
my
you very
friend.
much.